Welcome to Cut the Crap, the unapologetic, unfiltered podcast about the real life behind business, personal growth, and the beautiful chaos of it all. I'm your host, Kirsten, a creative founder, business mentor, and mum, navigating entrepreneurship in a way that's deeply human, never polished, and far from perfect. After 2 decades building businesses and working alongside some of the most inspiring people I know, I have learnt this. The real stories, the ones that don't make the highlight reels, are the ones that matter most. So this podcast is exactly that. Real conversations, raw moments, no hustle hype, no BS, just honest stories from people doing life and business on their own terms. Let's cut the crap. Welcome back to another episode of Cut the Crap. Today I have a wonderful guest who we have been waiting so long to connect for this chat. So I'm so excited to welcome her to the podcast. Her name is Lauren Bryant. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. It's a pleasure.
I'm so glad we could make it happen.
I know. Like we were saying before, just all of the things that it's taken to get here for this podcast, and then, all of the things trying to get each other together and, make it work. But we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
So I'm going to do a little intro for you. So Lauren Bryant is an international award-winning small business specialist and the founder of Empower House, where she helps women create more time, money, and influence through smart systems, strategies, and connection. She also is a brand new mum to twin girls, and in this season of life, she is balancing nappies, nap schedules, late night feeds while still scaling her business, running her business club mastermind, hosting events, and recently launching her own podcast, Empower House. In this conversation, we are going to dive into what it really looks like to let go of perfectionism, streamline your business with smart systems, and continue to grow while staying present in motherhood.
It's a lot.
It is. Lauren shares her journey, her game-changing strategies, and the wisdom she's gained from building businesses that actually support your life, not the other way around. So let's chat.
Amazing.
I'm so excited for this. There's so many things I want to talk to you about, and so many things that I feel we all struggle through as parents and business owners and entrepreneurs and, all of those things. And you are living it every day at the moment. But before we get into that, I just want to go back to the start. So let's cut the crap. Where did it really start for you? What shaped the version of you that we see today? How did little Lauren start?
So many things. In business, I started working in a family business. We had a smash repairs. So I spent over a decade in automotive.
Yeah, wow.
And then I went to financial advice and then started my business. But it was a long time in an industry that wasn't very welcoming for women. And I was working for my dad first up and learnt a lot from there. I started as a teenager cleaning the workshop and cars and running clients around and that sort of stuff, and worked all the way through and was managing shops. I managed his, I managed other ones.
So did your dad own that smash repairs business when you were little as well?
As a teenager.
Okay.
So he was always a panel beater.
Okay.
And had been in management for some time and then bought this one. And,
right.
Yeah.
So do you think that you always had that sort of entrepreneurial spirit there within you? Were you one of those kids that was out doing lemonade stands and, looking at ways to get a buck?
I was doing babysitting. I did a hairdressing apprenticeship while I was still in high school.
Okay, great.
I worked at Bilo as a checkout chick for a little while there, and then I went into panel shops from, I think I was 16 or 17 when we bought the shop. So I've always worked a lot.
And did you, watching your father, running his business, is that sort of, did you feel that that's what you wanted to do? Or when you were at that age and you were working, were you just kind of happy to get the money, or were you, did you have ideas about where you wanted to go and what you wanted to do back then?
When I was a teenager, absolutely. I was horse mad. So I was going to have my own equestrian school and teach people show jumping and breed horses and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Those are very expensive dreams.
Yes. Are they ever?
Yeah. So I did have that spirit. But then, yes, learnt business from working in the panel shop and learn how to do bookkeeping and manage staff and win contracts and deal with big companies. And yeah, I got to do some pretty cool things in the smash repairs actually. But
Yeah. And how did you go in a, mostly male dominated industry?
I learned how to be hard.
Yeah.
And really quick with my comebacks.
Yep.
There's no time for letting people walk over you. But yeah, it was tough. Funnily enough, most of the sexism, obviously there was a lot that you copped in the workshop itself, but a lot of the sexism came from customers.
Okay.
They didn't expect me, as I was back then, early 20s and whatever, to do a quote or know what I was talking about. And especially when I was the manager of these shops, they'd say, I want to talk to the boss. And it's, well, you are. Yeah. You're welcome, So it was pretty it was tough to turn up every day at work and have to prove your worth all the time.
Yeah.
But smash repairs was something that I knew inside and out.
Of course.
And for that reason, bored me to tears, but I was really good at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew what I was doing and I was really cocky because, I was young and knew everything as well. But yeah, it was pretty tough to come to work every day and prove that you know what you're talking about and have to kind of go through that every time that you had an interaction with somebody until they got to know you, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, they didn't know that I was winning big contracts with manufacturing insurance companies. We were the first in Southeast Queensland. Like I did that, not my boss or, the owner or something like that. It was me. I organised the systems and got the paperwork together and got everybody on board. And
did you have moments where you were like, I can't do this? Like, did you find that you struggled? How did you get through, continuing to show up every day for yourself?
I think when someone tells me that I can't do something, I tend to go at it harder. So having that just kind of fueled the fire for me a little bit.
Do it twice and take pictures.
Yeah. Exactly. And, what I knew about cars and they didn't was like, okay, it's fine. You can have your opinions.
Yeah.
I knew I knew what I needed to know to get their job done, to get it done right, to have the outcome, and I could talk them through the process. So it was only really, I think, the introduction of, I was very skinny. I was very blonde as well. There was a lot of fake tan going on. This is early 2000s, so it was all the things.
Yes.
I was getting around in heels and a skirt. I wasn't going full panel shop on everybody else's terms.
You were bringing the glam to
I was going to wear what I wanted to wear,
Yeah.
So I think I turned up as myself, as I wanted to be. I knew what I knew. I could get the job done. I had some issues with managing staff and there was bullying and, this kind of thing. You're always putting out fires between different workers and stuff, but you just, it's Monday to Friday, go home, have a wine. That was kind of my method at the time.
Okay. Yeah. And so now you moved away from the panel beating shop and then you moved into a different area, right?
Yeah, I went into financial advice. I was doing superannuation and personal insurances for a little bit there.
Yes.
So I have a qualification in financial advice, although I do not use it. Do
you use it for yourself?
I have a good understanding of money now.
Yeah.
Coming from small business management and then going into finance, you kind of get some pretty good knowledge up your sleeve.
Definitely. And some lived experience, even if, it's not your business, you see the day-to-days and the coming in and out.
Yeah. That company wasn't the greatest. They are something I learned later is a Phoenix company.
Uh-huh.
So when I started asking questions, I found myself without a job pretty quickly.
Right.
And that is when Empower House got started.
Okay.
I could not get another job after that. I applied for everything and it was just, I didn't get a rejection email.
Yeah.
So
So how old were you then, or what year was this?
Empower House is now 9 years old.
Okay.
So that makes me like 27.
Yeah, so
at that time.
2006?
Um,
Roundabout?
2016.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 2006. Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, 2016.
Yeah.
So I started that after having spoken about wanting to start my own business for such a long time. When I was still in the panel shop, I went through and did a life coaching diploma and NLP and all of that sort of stuff. And I thought, yeah, I'll be a life coach.
Yeah.
And then obviously I started my business, but I was doing anything to make money. I was writing blogs, designing websites, social media content, you know, doing all of those, anything that anybody would pay me to do, I would do that because I had a mortgage to pay.
Yeah.
I like to eat, so I had to make money now.
Yes.
So I had a really good time doing that. It was just find more clients and I need to make X amount this week, and it would always happen. But yeah, it was very scattered work
and scrappy.
Yeah, just was not charging my worth for all that I knew about business. I didn't know about pricing myself in a certain way to attract a certain client. I was just
doing what you could,
doing all the things
so
to
when
make
did
it
that
work.
When did that start to shift for you? When did you start to go, okay, like, you know, and refine your business model and understand, you know, what it was that you wanted to do? What was there, like a moment where you went, oh, okay?
I think I was probably 6 to 12 months in, and having started my business to be a life coach and only getting business clients, I kind of went, I guess I'm not going to be a life coach. People don't want me for that. And shocking, you don't want a, you know, mid to late 20s life coach.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
It's not me, apparently. But I went, okay, cool, and got some focus and decided I am going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I designed my first business product, which was a business startup guide. After going through a Cert 4 in business management, I realized how many people didn't know a thing about starting a business. And most people were getting into it because they were passionate about a thing, or they had this particular skill or a trade or something, and didn't want to work for somebody else anymore. They wanted some freedom, or they wanted to get out of working for the man or whatever it looked like, but had no business skills whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it's all things that I had been doing for over a decade.
Yeah.
So I went, okay, lean into that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Probably 12 months, I guess.
Okay. And so that was your first product. That's what you started with.
That was my first official product that I launched to people outside of working one-on-one. And it actually did really well. Back in the days of Facebook groups being amazing for selling.
Yeah.
And, that had been downloaded a few hundred times.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And so then from there, the business then started to shift more into kind of that whole, like leadership space and mastermind sort of, is that?
The mastermind came a lot later for me. That's only a few years old now. I was focused more on the systems and working one-on-one with the business owner or the entrepreneur to get them from where they are and be able to use the systems and the automations and processes and stuff to get them there.
Yeah.
Less about what is your mindset and what is your goal, more about that strategy piece and getting the work done so that they could get on with the job. So I did a lot of work with that. I'm a bit of a nerd. I love a good system. And I have found through the panel shops, especially working with my dad, that I'm very good at learning a system and at the same time being able to teach it.
Yeah.
My dad is a bit older and refers to his typing method as hunt and peck, where he circles the keyboard a couple times and then he pecks at it. So that's who I was like teaching systems and trying to get the work done that we needed to get done. So I learned the hard way.
Hunt and peck, I love that. That's so great. That's
pretty good.
Yeah.
So I learned really quickly that I can simultaneously learn and teach.
Yeah.
And most systems will just kind of make sense to me. So I lent into that a lot in my early days. It served me pretty well. I've done some really big business changeovers and some smaller ones from the ground up. It's been really fun.
Yeah. And so you're still doing that now?
I'm still doing some of that now.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time and effort. One of the big transfers that I did was a medical practice. They were really well established. They were around about 30 years, and the practice software that they had been using was going to have no more support, which meant things like the Medicare numbers and rebates and stuff wouldn't be coming through.
Yes.
So we had to
Big deal.
keep the practice running and change over. So the whole project took about 4 months in total, but there was a couple of days of, we'd worked all the way up. There was hundreds of templates that we had to take from the old one into the new one, changing over all of the tags and that sort of stuff. So there was a lot of labor involved in that. There was server upgrades. So it was the team of us. And then on that day of, all right, start the new system, it was putting out fires left, right and centre. Still 1,500 patients coming through a week, just the whole thing.
Yes. And people really do not like change.
They do not.
They're very resistant to change, especially when it comes to their work and things that they've done the same way for however many years. They're so resistant. It's almost like a child, isn't it? It's really hard.
Yeah.
Really,
they were
really
a
hard.
good sport, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yes, there were a lot of people that were like, not keen on this. The old one did that. It's like, well, we can't use the old one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's done. It's like handwriting scripts. No more. So that was really fun, but huge, huge hours.
Yeah.
So I do prefer the online businesses. There's so many great programs out there now where you can get a business up and running in a few days. Yeah. If you have an offer and you know who you're working with and that sort of stuff. So
and you're clear on.
Super fun.
Yeah.
So much faster now.
Yeah. It's exciting, isn't it, working with, businesses and building. I love working with a business owner and getting in there and kind of like rejigging their business and giving them that kind of, sort of spark back or just helping them see a dream come true too. Or, like a lot of the time, like you said, is people just have a desire to create something or they know that they can do it and they just want to do it on their own, but they have no idea about how to do it. So getting people through those steps and teaching them the things and getting them there is so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you can see how capable somebody is, but they just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
It's very fun to get to the end of it and be like, see, I told you could do this.
Yeah, yeah, high five.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah, it's so good. And so then what about Empower House, the brunch club? When did that sort of come off? Because I know there's a bit of a story about that too.
Yes, definitely. So obviously going from smash repairs and into financial advice, phones ring all day, people in and out, office full of people, all of things, to going from that environment to working from home. And it was just my dog and I, and he's very sweet. He snores a lot. He's not much conversation. And I knew that I needed other business people around me. All of my friends were employees, and as much as I love them and they were very supportive, when I would talk to them about having a business and being stressed or whatever, there was a lot of really supportive, it's okay, you could just get a job, like that's fine. You could just go back to the job market again.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even my mum said to me a few times, well, you don't want to have too big a gap on your resume. It's like, I'm not planning to go back, So I knew that I needed to get around other people that had the same sort of mindset. So I started going to some networking events and they were icky. I would meet a ton of people. There'd be 50 people in the room. They all do their 30-second elevator spiel. They shove a business card in your hand. So you walk out with a handful of cards feeling like you need a shower. And I just said, this isn't it. And if I'm feeling that way, other people are going to be feeling that way. So I started my own event knowing that I have, as much as my mum was encouraging me to not leave a big gap in my resume, she's also super supportive.
Yeah.
I knew that she would turn up. If nobody else did, she would turn up and we would have a glass of champagne on a Friday and it would be fine.
Yeah.
So I designed the event that I wanted to go to. We have speakers, we have brunch, we have time to connect. I banned the sales pitch and the business cards so that people would actually have to speak to one another.
Yes, good.
And yeah, it's been going now for 7 years.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This episode of Cut the Crap is brought to you by Bespoke Creative, strategic brand and marketing solutions for visionary businesses. If you're building a business but your brand still feels like a work in progress, or you're stuck in DIY mode and it's just not cutting through, they get it. That's what they do. Bespoke craft powerful brand strategies, compelling content, and high-impact marketing campaigns to help businesses grow, scale, and stand out. Visit bespokecreative.com.au to learn more or book a free call.
It's fabulous.
And now you've got not only Gold Coast, but you've got Brisbane as well.
Yeah, we do. And since I got pregnant and went away to have babies, we've got hosts in both of those as well, although I love Brunch Club, so I'm still there. I think I missed one when I had the girls. and I might have missed another one. Yes, I've missed one Gold Coast and one Brisbane because they were teething. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's
so
amazing.
Fun. I love Brunch Club.
Yeah.
It's been so good. And just getting to watch all of the connections and the relationships build. And then you see this one's collaborating with that one and this one's on that retreat and you just everyone working together and supporting each other. And it's just, it's the best.
So good.
It's so fun.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And so take us through sort of like a brunch club. What does it look like?
Well, it's all done for you. I wanted a space where you could come as you are. You turn up. I probably know who you are, or I've stalked you online. And also my beautiful hosts, Courtney and Joyce, are very warm and friendly as well. So you're getting a hug. You're being introduced to people. This is where your seat is. I've got everything planned out. So your drink, your meal, your tea, your coffee, whatever, it's all coming to you. It's all pre-planned.
Yeah.
I'm introducing you to people. We sit down and there's a little introduction. There's plenty of time to chat after that while you're having your meal and your drink. We have our speaker and they normally talk for about 45 minutes and we do questions and that kind of thing.
Yep.
There is a bit of a connection exercise thrown in the middle of that.
Okay.
And then group photo and off you go for the day.
Yeah, great.
Lucky door prize.
Yeah.
It's good fun. So it's a couple of hours of just dropping all of the extra hats and just being you and having a good time on a Friday, connecting with some people.
Yeah, and that's once a month, right? It's the first Friday of the month on the Gold Coast, isn't it?
Yes, and at the moment it's the third Friday of the month in Brizzy.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
2 events a month right now.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Super fun.
Yeah. And so tell me now what it looks like with twins and running a business.
There is not a lot of time for business right now. I am working in the middle of the night for the most part while they sleep. The girls are still on pretty much 3-hourly feeds.
Okay.
They're just starting to drop one, which is amazing, one nighttime feed.
And so they are, how old are they now?
8 months.
8 months. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. I was doing the maths in my head the other day and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're 8 months.
Yeah, they came early. So 8 months in, I am typically getting up. I'll go to bed sort of after the 5 o'clock feed, after dinner and stuff. I'll get a couple of hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And I get up about 10 and pump and feed and change and do the things and sit down and get a couple of hours work in maybe and then pump, feed and put them back to bed and then get back to bed myself.
Oh my gosh. So how are you getting enough sleep?
I'm not. But we make do. I'm very lucky to be living with my parents.
Yeah.
So Luke and I and my parents are all in the one house with the girls.
Yeah.
And my parents are taking care of the 5 a.m. feed.
Okay.
So I kind of get to bed at about 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And the girls are then up at about 5:30.
Right.
So mum and dad are taking over that. And then I'm up again later in the morning and do it all again. Pump, feed, change, get them down for another nap.
Gosh.
Yeah. I have a VA though as well. So we've got Slack. So as soon as I can pick up my phone, I can message her and, go back and forth. But I've been working with her now for over 18 months. So she knows what I need from a weekly and a monthly perspective.
Yeah.
And she's great.
So you got her on board while you were pregnant?
Even before that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think part of the reason I was actually able to get pregnant was, and it was part of my plan about, we were going to do IVF. So I had this whole plan about, if I'm going to do this and invest that kind of time and money, I'm going to do the best I can with my health. I need to reduce stress. I need to get some things off my plate. Because at the time I was working 5 days and 3 or 4 nights just to get everything done. So it's big hours and it's just silly. And then on the weekends, not really turning off because, you know, your head's still there.
That's right.
So I systemized, I did a whole overhaul of all of my systems and condensed them down to pretty much one all-in-one system. I bought on help, and she has been fabulous and was able to let go of a lot of the things that I was holding on to from a perfectionist standpoint, because only I can do these things, but it's so rubbish. So I let go of those and just had the templates and the systems and the training. I recorded everything that I did in my business, and I created a course and host that in the course portal within my system. So that's for my team. So if I'm ever onboarding people, they can watch the video, read the steps, and literally just follow the clicks. So it's like,
so easy.
Paint by numbers. Super easy. And if something needs updating, then it's a quick Loom video recording done.
So when do you think what was the point at the time that made you go, I need to do this? You know, I need to offload. I need to get people in my team that are going to be able to support me so that I can, you know, take some time back for myself and for my family, or impending family. What was the point where you got to, you know, for that to happen?
Burnout again. I had already done that coming off the back of COVID. I had an amazing business during COVID. Mine actually didn't suffer. It went gangbusters because I was already online doing systems, doing websites. Everyone went, okay, I need to pivot and do this. So I was busier than I'd ever been. But after about 18 months of that kind of workload, I was exhausted. So I crashed and burned there a little bit, and I was headed back for that again. And I went, okay, we need to do something different because this isn't working.
You start to see the signs, don't you?
Yes, very much. When my sleep is impacted, my anxiety is coming up, you know. I have a history of mental health, PTSD, all of that kind of stuff. So when that starts coming up for me, I go, ooh, okay, warning signs.
What's happening?
Time to, one, book the therapy session again, but also something needs to change. And it's daylight, sleep, less alcohol, or cut it out altogether, more exercise. Don't be working 80 hours a week. Or whatever that looks like. It's
not sustainable. And I think that's, you know, and that's sort of one of those things too that, you know, I know that we're both the same in that, you know, we do have that perfectionist mindset, and it's really hard when you have children and they are on their own schedule and you can't run things to the minute like you would before. We also have this ability to take on all of these things and we get it done, but at what cost sometimes, right? And that's where, you know, you need to kind of reassess it and go, all right, what needs to change and how do I do that? And I think sometimes, and that's why I'm asking you, because I think sometimes I'm sure there's lots of people listening to this right now who have in the same boat or have been or are, where they're like, I know something needs to change, but I don't know how to, and I don't know what the next steps is. And sometimes, like you were saying, only I can do that. It's letting that go. That's quite scary. So how do, you know, what are the steps that, you know, people can take to kind of, you know, start to move in that direction, to offload and sort of give themselves back some, you know, mental space to think and be clear?
Great question. I think the first thing is looking at your business as a whole and saying, what is the one thing that I can automate or delegate or just straight up delete from my life right now? And so to give you the example, the first thing that I took on was my events process. I moved all of that into one system so that it could be much more automated. And then the manual tasks, for the most part, my VA does it. And I'd come through, she does 80%, I come through and finish off the 20%. So I'm still getting my hands on it. It still has my sparkle, if you will, but I don't have to do all of the work because copying a funnel and an automation and setting up the blog and the events on Facebook and stuff. I don't have to do that. That it's not an important task. And I think you need to think about tasks in your business as, are they a $10 task or a $100 task or a $1,000 task? If it's a 10 or maybe 100, you probably don't need to be doing that. If it's 1,000 or 10,000, like those are things where, yes, your expertise is required. You're doing a one-on-one service. Absolutely. You need to turn up and do the consult, but maybe you don't need to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have a sales team. Maybe you can have somebody else handling the front end stuff and setting up your email sequences and all of those kinds of things that are going to support you to turn up and give your best.
Yes.
So you're not leaving all of this energy all over the place.
Yeah.
And you can focus, especially like you say, when you've got kids in the mix and you've only got, an hour here or 10 minutes there or something like that. You need to make the most of that time. And is that playing with graphics in Canva? Probably not.
No.
I'd say that perfectionism is more procrastination than anything else, and probably signals more that you need some more free brain space to think properly and to plan properly and to work on the business.
Yeah.
Rather than doing silly little tasks in between. They're still important and these things need to happen.
Yeah.
But they can be done by somebody else whose hourly rate is much lower than yours.
Yeah, correct. Very true.
And it's a bit of a mindset shift. You're going from, a lot of people start as an employee and then they get into business, and going from employee to business owner is a mindset shift.
It is.
But then also thinking about your business as its own entity and making it a company. And then you've got to be the CEO of that company and having that other mind shift as well.
Yes.
And that's when you're going to be leading a team. You're going to be delegating. You're going to be automating, because you can't do it all and be a CEO. You've got to choose one or the other.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want to have a small business, work from home, have that freedom, there is nothing wrong with that. That is success.
Yeah.
Because you're setting that up around the life that you want to live.
That's right.
And there's a very different version of you required for big dollars and big teams.
Yeah.
And, when you've got little ones attached to your hip, perhaps still on the boob, then it's just not the time to be saying, oh, well, I can do all of these things, because you are going to be required elsewhere.
And the reality is that you don't have to do all of the things anyway, despite that, even if you don't have children or anything. But I mean,
Not at all.
The other thing is too, is that time that you have when you have children, it's not guaranteed, because they could just wake up in the middle of the night with a 40-degree temperature and your whole day is done. So having a back end that supports you, whether that is like systems and processes and automations, or a actual person, whether that be a VA or someone else that you're employing, is how you're going to survive, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, without that, you just don't, it just all falls apart.
Yeah.
Because, we can't, we just still have to look after ourselves physically and mentally as well.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to remember why you started your business in the first place.
Yeah.
And if it was to work from wherever you want, whenever you want, have the freedom of time and money and impact, you've got to set your business up to support that from as early as possible in the piece. There's definitely this time where you just have to hustle and get things done and make money any way you can.
Yeah.
Because cash flow is really important.
Yeah.
But then we're talking about, longevity and being able to do this for as long as you want to, really. Of course, if you've got an exit plan, great, whatever. But when you have this business, have it to support your life rather than you having to support your business all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have the things in place.
Yeah, definitely. And so what do you think for you has been the most challenging, and what's been the most grounding for you during this process of being a new mother and the business?
I was delusional when I was pregnant.
Aren't we all the first time?
Oh, wow. I had it in my head that I was going to be back to like full-time work by about 3 months in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, love that one.
Hilarious.
It's a great joke.
3 months rolled around and I was like, who am I? What day is it? So
But I mean, to be fair, you did have two tiny humans to, keep alive.
Yeah.
So it's hard enough just with one. So I don't even know how you do it.
Oh, it was funny.
Yeah.
It is still funny to me now. And I feel like, so the thing that grounded me the most was the realization that it's not about how competent I thought I would be. It's about how much time you actually have
Yeah.
and what the demands actually are.
Yes.
I always knew that mums and parents in general did a big job, but you really don't know it until you're in the depths of it with, no sleep and someone's still screaming at you and you're going, wow,
Yeah.
this is a choice I made.
Yeah. This is a choice.
So I really had to let go of a lot of expectations and my expectations for myself, especially around business, because that's where my identity has always been wrapped up, right? My expectations for myself were really high.
Yeah.
I expected that I was still going to be running my events, that I'd be back doing one-on-ones, that I would be doing all of these things. And to be fair, 5 days after I gave birth, I was working on a client's website in the middle of the night, but I was up pumping. I had to be vertical. So, might as well get something done.
Yes.
But that's been the kind of work that I've actually been able to do, is things that don't require me to sit there and have that conversation or be 100% focused on my client in front of me. It's all of that online work, the systems work and all of that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what's kept me going so far this year.
Yeah.
I've been keeping the events going with my 20%, while my VA does the 80%, and then obviously started the podcast as well.
Yes.
But I did imperfectly. I started recording it with my AirPods in while I walked the girls because they don't sleep during the day. So I went, well, I've been talking about this for over a year and this isn't going to end anytime soon. The girls, they were, 4 months old, I think, at that point. And I knew that this wasn't going to change all that much.
Yeah.
Quickly.
No.
So if I'm going to do this thing that I have been saying I'm going to do, then it's going to not be the perfect polished version that I wanted to put out into the world, but it's going to be the thing. It's going to be the project. It's going to have a start and I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
And accept that my very high expectations aren't going to be met all the time.
Yes.
And maybe I could practice a little bit more kindness and compassion for myself.
Yes. Well, I know you and I spoke about this a while back when we went for a walk one day and, we talked about that really hard, I think, way that we speak to ourselves as new parents. And I know I went through the same thing where, and a little bit still now, 2 years on, but I think that, it was really tough on myself in that first period of postpartum. And I just think, my God, I would not be saying this to you, for example, talking to you as a newborn with newborns and saying the things that I was saying to myself. Why am I saying it to myself? And, it's brutal that we have this expectation, but I think because, we do have these high standards, we think, well, get on with it. You've got to get it done. And it's really tough and you do have to be a lot kinder on yourself. And I think, we joke about this whole mum brain thing, but I mean, scientifically, it really is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
And the brain changes and it grows and it becomes different and parts of the brain stop working while, you are in that, newborn phase, because it is literally nature and nurture at play at its best, so that you can focus on nothing more than raising that child, because that is the most important thing and nothing else matters. And it's really interesting how then everything else starts to fall away. So I think, I always talk about this power pause, and it's nothing I coined. There is a lady, I'll have to be clear, I'll put that in the notes, but she talks about the power pause and she's written a book about it. And, I love the concept because it really is a time where you find that women do actually, you see so many changes in postpartum with women. They're either starting businesses or they are shifting their whole identity within their business, or they're coming up with something completely new, or they are closing it down and walking away and setting it alight and that's done. And, all of these things happen because you have that moment to actually pause because you are being forced into it. And, when everything starts to strip back and fall away, you start to see what is really important, right? And what you want to be doing and where your energy is best focused. And often it's not where you think it is. But it's like, I wish, how can we create this opportunity for other people to, who aren't necessarily in the postpartum, to get that really clear clarity? Because it's hard, isn't it?
It's very hard. I think it is such a great exercise to continue to ask yourself, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Is this actually what I want?
Yeah.
So if you're hanging out and listening to this right now and thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to have kids, but you don't have to use kids as your point to pivot or to make other changes. You can look at the last week and the last month, the last 6 months and say, do I want to keep doing this? Is this what I want my life to look like? Or is there something else that I want to do? Or maybe it just needs a couple of tweaks. I was telling you that I spoke at We Rise Networking in Brisbane last week, and it was one of the things that we went through was a freedom goal filter. And a lot of women, especially when they start a business, they're solving a problem that they've had. They want to change something within the community. They're looking for more freedom in their life. They want to earn more money. They've been capped in an employment role, that kind of thing. So there's a real why behind their business. And you get to a certain point when you've been hungry and hustling at the start of the business, and now you've got no time and you're looking to get your time back or flexibility back. But just take a look at the way that you're structuring your calendar. If travel is important to you, but you don't already have travel time booked out for your year, why not?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen unless you put it into your calendar.
That's right.
If you don't want to do Friday afternoons with clients because you want to pick your kids up from school and go and do something fun, then stop taking calls from 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Schedule it out. You know, this is your business. You can create it the way that you want it to look.
That's right.
So whatever is important to you, kids or no kids, maybe you've got cats or dogs or maybe none of the above.
Yeah.
Maybe you just want to be in Bali and working from your laptop. Well, have a look at flights and schedule it in.
Yeah.
You get to control this. This is a business that's supposed to support your freedom and success, however that looks. And it doesn't have to be the $1 million business that the Instagram coaches tell you it has.
Right, exactly. Yes, you did do an episode on that recently, which I thought was very good because, it is true. Just because, everybody, and you see it all the time, these, they're scaling and they're in, seed fund investments and investments into business and, exiting with huge amounts and, it's all fantastic, but you have to work out if that's, the type of business that you're wanting, and is that the type of business that you're creating? Because if it's not, it's okay. You can have a simple business that just provides you with the life that you want, that doesn't require you to be working 24 hours a day, and doing all of these things and sacrificing your health and your children and your partner or, or whatever, to get there. And, it's just because it's, well, I can make you $30,000 months and $40,000 months and just my tried and true methods and all of this. It's a constant. Yeah. And, starts to make people feel inadequate, like they're not good enough and they're not doing enough because they're not doing that or they don't have the followers or, what have you. But it's not necessarily the way, is it?
No, not at all. I think it's really important to look at the impact that you're having on your clients' lives. And like I said, a lot of women's businesses are purpose-led. And find that purpose might be, I have a client who needed to get out of her job to be home because her daughter was having so much trouble at school. She was getting suspended all the time.
Right.
So she was having to leave work. So she started this business. She was there for her daughter. Her daughter has graduated high school. She's done very well. And I think probably because this single mum was able to be at home when she needed to be at home.
Yeah.
Her business paid the mortgage and did all of the things that she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then when her daughter graduated high school, She went on a trip around, my client went on a trip around the world.
Yeah.
She spent 6 months traveling and eating and having a fabulous time.
Oh,
So
gosh.
I don't think that she made $1 million business, but she made one that meant that she could do something she was passionate about and she could take care of her family and still pay off her mortgage and still put money away for that amazing trip that she had in mind.
Yes.
But maybe she wouldn't have been able to do that with her 9 to 5.
No, absolutely not.
Mm.
And it's freedom for your life.
Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing. You can do so much with a multi 6-figure business and especially set up right. If it's lean and it's efficient, you can make great profit. And I hope that you have somebody in your back pocket for financial advice to help you with your mitigation on tax and all that sort of thing. But you can have an amazing business and so much freedom without having to hit somebody else's milestones. And I think the 7-figure business can often be somebody else's milestones, and it's ego driven for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You do need a different version of yourself. You need to be able to manage money appropriately. Otherwise, you'll just end up with a massive tax bill and no idea where all of the profit went.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of learning between $100,000 and $1 million.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh, yeah. There definitely is. I've learnt that the hard way. Been there. It was hard. And it is. And you do learn the lessons. And, sometimes it is about not having, I chose, with Bespoke Creative to not have a business the size of the business before, because I wanted to simplify. I wanted to keep things. And there was a point there where it started to grow another head and I was like, oh. And I even remember my eldest son saying to me, Mum, we'll just do this and, we'll get this on and we'll get a couple of people to do this. And I was just like, no.
Yeah.
No. I
what
don't
season
think
are
so.
you in?
Yeah. It's and he's like in his 20s and he's young and hungry and go for it, and he's doing that. He's killing it. But for me, it's just that's not the choice that I make. Financial freedom and flexibility to be able to take care of my family and work and do things that I'm passionate about and grow and help people's businesses. That's what I do. But as far as all of the other stuff, again, I don't want the responsibility of all of that again. It's too much. Well, it's not too much. It's just too much for me right now. Yeah. And it's exhausting. Yeah. And I'm tired enough. I don't need that.
How's your sleep?
Yeah. Actually, pretty good at the moment. Not too bad.
Wonderful.
Not too bad. Yeah. Thanks for checking in. So tell me now, I know you talked to me about systems and automations, but what is one system or automation that saves you the most time and keeps your business moving?
It's the one that takes the invoices to my bookkeeping system. If you don't have something set up to take your sales from whatever your CRM is to your bookkeeping, and also to be able to capture your receipts really easily. Yeah. Because who wants to sit around and do the books when you've just spent all of your time and energy servicing clients? Yeah. Yeah. That is the most important one. I think one for obviously time and getting it done, but also for getting it done right. Yeah. Because very important. Yeah. So how do you do that? What's your system that you work with? So there's heaps of them out there, but one that I use is Dext. I think there's a HubSpot or something like that. You can just take a photo of your receipt. Yes. And it goes straight into the system. Yeah. And then I don't even have to touch it for my invoices because it's all through Stripe, and it's set up with an integration to just go straight into the bookkeeping system. Yeah. So it takes the customer name, the amount, what it was for, whether it's paid or not, and just bangs it in there. Yeah. So
yeah, that's fantastic. Let's cut the crap for a second. If this episode landed for you, made you think, laugh, or feel a little bit more seen, I'd love for you to follow the show and leave a review. It's one of the easiest ways to reach more people like you, and it means the world to us. And it helps us to continue to bring more great guests to the show. Wherever you're listening, just hit follow and drop a quick review.
no data entry. Yay.
Yeah. Oh, love that. Love
So
that.
good.
So tell me now, what do you think your identity looks like now as you become a mum? Have you felt that you've had an identity shift?
I am obviously obsessed with two little people and making sure that they have everything that they need. But as far as my identity is concerned, I feel like I'm still exactly the same girl that I was pre-pregnancy. I still value the same things. I still want to do pretty much the same things.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to go out drinking cocktails at, God knows what time anymore. But and now I want to sleep. But for the most part, I want to do the same things. I'm interested in the same things. My values are the same. I just don't have the autonomy. So it'll get there. I'm obviously trying to find joy and be present in the little moments. I was sharing with you before that they're starting to crawl right now. They've both started saying mum, mum, mum and dad, dad, dad. So, there's all of that kind of stuff happening that I'm excited about.
Yeah. And they're the things too that I find, and I really reminded myself with this, postpartum period, let's say, that you don't want to miss them.
Yeah.
Because you never get them again. And, even the really I think that was one of the things that got me through the really tough nights, like the really hard nights, and you're exhausted and it's relentless and brutal, or the tough, things that happen, was I would just say to myself, you're never going to have this again. Like this is the last time you will ever experience this. So even though it's shit, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it was shit, but I got through it. And I think, you forget, having two older children, and there's little things that I see with Parker now that I go, oh my God, I forgot about that. And I forgot about this. And you think you do, because you do forget, 20 years on, you genuinely do forget. And it's not that you want to forget, but it's just, and it's just so good to be able to be there and be in those moments and enjoy them for what they are.
Yeah.
And, because you don't get them again. Do you feel like sometimes you get a bit frustrated because you're you're trying to do something, maybe work related, and then, or just quickly reply to an email that usually would take you 2 seconds to reply.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's 20 minutes later, an hour later, and you're like, oh my God, I still haven't replied to that email. And there's, but then they're there with their beautiful little faces. And do you get that frustration sometimes where it's just so hard to kind of navigate through?
Yeah, definitely. I've had to be a bit more strict with myself in regards to that, and not trying to work while I have them.
Yeah,
because
me too. I had
of
to do
that
that
frustration
too.
that you're talking about.
Yeah, I had to do that as well.
Either be here or be there.
Yeah, but you can't be both. No.
I'm really fortunate to have my parents take care of them. Mum takes them out for a couple of hours, a couple of days a week, so that I can just record a podcast or do my BAS or, do the things that I have to do.
Yes.
Host my mastermind for one.
Yeah.
Stuff that other people can't do for me. But the feeling of being left behind, that was the thing that I really struggled with from the moment that I found out that I was pregnant.
Oh my gosh,
I started going, not only I can't eat this, I can't drink that, I can't, but also I'm not going to get to go on this retreat. I'm not going to get to say yes to these things.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things even outside of business socially where I can't just say yes to going out to dinner or going for drinks or this person's birthday or, spending money on things that I would normally be happy to spend money on because I don't have the income that I had before.
Yeah.
There's all of these things where I really feel like I'm being, and I'm using air quotes, left behind.
Yeah.
And
it's a very,
that's been the toughest part.
Yeah.
To be looking at everybody else in my circle and a lot of, I'm really lucky to have some friends who have had a baby at about the same time as me.
Yeah.
So they're in the same sort of time frame.
Yeah.
And so we're having the same conversations, which is great. But then looking at everybody else, I'm like, I want to release a book and I want to have a podcast and I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's I really feel like I'm being left behind in so many places. There's a conference this week that I want to go to.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
No.
for where I'm at right now. Yes, I could have somebody take care of the girls, but I still, because I'm pumping, I'm expressing right now, I would still have to, at 2 or 3 times during that conference, put pumps on, and then clean the pumps, and then store the milk somehow. And
it's
what's
not
the point?
Yeah, no, that's right. It's not worth it for you. And that's it. That's your season right now.
That's exactly it. That's the tough part for me.
And I really understand that. Like, I really, really feel that. Probably not so much on the social side, because I think I was very happy to step away from my social life. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, I was just like, yeah, that's
social
fine.
battery's done.
I'm really happy to stay home. I do enjoy going out. Like, I think I can probably count on like one hand how many times I've been to things without, my partner or my child in this like last 2 years. But that's okay. I'm happy with that. But I think from a professional perspective, I definitely feel that, that gap of being left behind. And also I think too, with AI coming in and the changes, and then, I'm 44, and then you just kind of feel like, especially when you're working in the digital marketing space as well, is, even though that's not my sole focus, it is a lot of, work that I do, and my clients will obviously rely on me to be, good at it. I do feel that sort of thing is like, oh, I'm old now. Like, I'm old. Like, I don't know anything. It's like you're like finally like that person where you're like, oh my God, the old person is in the room. Like, it's that thing. But it's really hard. But feeling that you've got these big goals and dreams and aspirations. But I think that's what makes us entrepreneurs, right? That's what makes us who we are. And we just find ways to do it. Yeah. And to get there in the end. And again, sometimes it's a matter of, like you said, you wanted to do the book, you want to do the podcast. Like, I'm the same. I've got the book I want to do, and I've got, the things, but you made the podcast happen. It wasn't quite how you wanted to make it happen exactly in your mind, but, not like me, who took literally 5 years to get this podcast live because, I wanted it to be right. But obviously there were other things too, but it definitely does, push you, to force you to make decisions of what is a real priority. Yeah. But I do think we get stuck in the social media world of it too, where we see, I think that's what makes us feel a little bit more left behind too, because we see it, it's in your face all the time. Yeah. Don't you think?
It's very important to keep remembering what you see online is very much the highlight reel.
Yeah.
And you know what? Some of the best times that I'm having with my kids, I'm not filming. I'm not taking photos. Yeah. I don't even know where my phone is in the house.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it in the house? Did I leave it? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's in the car.
Did I bring it home from the coffee shop? I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
And just enjoying that time is really important. And I think even just looking back on your day, there is a lady on the Gold Coast called Senya Demidova, and she does these really wonderful journaling exercises.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a reflection on your day. She's got 5 or 6 questions.
Yeah.
Don't ask me what they are because I cannot think of one of them off the top of my head.
It's always
that is the mum brain.
That's the mum brain.
But it's looking at your day and just evaluating that and reflecting on that to say, okay, what was good, what was not so good, and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
I just think really being present in the life that you're living right now. And the fact is that I worked really hard to be able to get pregnant because I was going to go down the IVF route. So to get pregnant, to then have these kids, they came early. Yeah. They both survived.
And you had twins, naturally.
Ta-da.
Whoa.
That is efficient pregnancy. Maybe. Yeah. Not really. It's hard. Don't recommend. That was tough.
Yeah.
But, I worked really hard to get to that point. So now I'm there with the other side of that, which is raising little humans. So, business stuff is going to fall away. I'm not going to get to that networking event. I'm not going to get to speak at this thing because it doesn't work with my kids' bedtime.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
You can have the power pause. I really like that.
Yeah. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And it's so good because it really is just that time where it's like a recalibration, It's like you sit down and take a moment and you can come back whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the same person, right?
No.
You can be a completely different person and you can do whatever you want with that. And, you know, like I said, for me, I think the social aspect for me is really stripped away because I wasn't getting any joy, real joy and benefit from that anyway. It's just your bank account just keeps going down and down and down because you're spending all this money going out and doing things and, you know, all of the rest of it. And I think because I sort of went through that empty nester phase, right? And then, you know, sort of was like, so, and that's okay. Like but it just wasn't serving me in the way that I, you know, kind of when you look at everything and that's it. You take stock and you look at it and then you have to let the dead weight go. And, you know, another one for me was alcohol. It was like, and I'm not that, you know, not that I was like a heavy drinker or anything, but when I would go out, I would love a good drink. I never really drank much at home, and that might even be considered binge drinking under some, you know, Australian guidelines somewhere. But at the end of the day, I was just like, I don't like the way this feels in my body. I don't need this anymore to have a good time, to be present, to enjoy, you know, my health and fitness has always been like important to me. And then, you know, and then when you do, because I did actually go through a few rounds of IVF, which we were unsuccessful, and then I did fall pregnant naturally. And same for me. I went through such a hard road and worked so hard to get what we wanted to have this baby. Why would I go and then just, you know, like when you know how good your body can feel, why then go back and make it feel shitty again?
Yeah.
You know, and everything after IVF, I think just does become a little bit more harder physically, and you do start to have different symptoms and things, you know, not everybody, but it does happen. So, you know, it's probably just magnified that, you know, yucky feeling for me. And it was just like, no, that's out of here.
Yeah.
You know,
Imagine waking up feeling dusty and having to take care of kids.
Right. Like, you know what? I had enough hangovers and, you know, dealing with children in my 20s. Like, no, sorry. No. Like, you just, you know it's going to happen and you still do it. And then you're like, oh, you'll be okay. And then you're not okay. It's brutal. And I am not doing that in my 40s. Like, that is just a no-go.
It's just different seasons, right?
Yes.
It's funny.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask you my rapid fire questions now.
All right.
Okay. So the cut the crap confession. What is one thing in business or life that you used to believe but now you call bullshit on?
Oh, I know it's meant to be rapid fire, but geez.
No, that's okay.
Good one.
No.
That I call bullshit on. You know what? Letting other people tell you what you are and who you are in business.
Oh, yeah.
I did that. And you end up fine. I was making a lot of money, but so bored.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
You get to choose. It's your business.
Yeah. And it's your life.
Yeah. Nobody gets to pigeonhole you.
Yeah.
Only you allow that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Don't
I
do
love
that.
that one. Okay. What does success look like for you today? Not the polished version, but the real one.
Right now, success is I've managed to get my to-do list done at some point, the priorities on my to-do list, and I've had the time for my family. It's going to change. Maybe I've got some sleep in as well.
Yeah. I know. Like, could you please maybe just like, how many hours do you think you get a night?
I get maybe 2 or 3 in the first part of the night, and if I come back to bed, I might get another hour after that,
Lauren.
and then maybe another 3-4 hours in the morning.
Oh, you need a bit more.
So, you know,
might just step
if I
that.
get like a 5-hour block, I am a different human.
Yeah, I feel like you need to step that VA up and just drop that, you know, like the nighttime feed where you're doing the work, that needs to go.
Yeah. It's also, it's just, I'm up, you know,
Yeah.
I'm
well, now
wide
you're
awake.
probably used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do really get used to it. And as soon as these girls stop needing me through the night, you know, to be there, because they've only just started to drop an 8 p.m. feed.
Okay.
And so they're waking up sort of 10 or 11 o'clock, which
Yeah.
means they're waking up somewhere between 1 and 2:30-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. Are they started solids yet?
No.
Not yet.
They're
Soon.
interested,
Yeah.
but you feed them and they do full body shudders. It's very funny.
I need a video.
So As soon as I can get them to sleep through, I will sleep through.
Solids will be a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really going to change things for you once they, start doing that.
Yeah.
Another month or two. And
So some priority things on my to-do list, some more sleep and some time with my friends and family.
Yeah.
I think that's success.
Yeah. Love that. That's good. And what does your daily non-negotiable look like? So something that, keeps you grounded.
Well, my priorities have obviously changed a lot, and personal hygiene tends to become a bit of a luxury as a new mum.
It does.
So currently my non-negotiable, because I was slipping on this, is having my hydrolyte with my collagen, super greens, super reds, vitamins, creatine, which is great for helping your grey matter come back in your brain because it shrinks when you are pregnant, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So that was really important to me, and also, showering and brushing teeth. So.
Yeah, good ones. Yeah, that's good though.
Personal hygiene. Yay.
Yes, and you're right. That directs the brain does shrink. I think I said before that it swells, but it actually doesn't. It shrinks.
It shrinks. Yeah. And so I forget words
and
all the time.
And then you've got breastfeeding on top of that. So the hormone changes and everything that also affects memory. So it's all very real.
Yeah, it's very real.
Yeah.
I do also try and get outside for a walk, whether it's short or long. Yeah, just trying to get outside time, because a lot of screaming inside the house often is alleviated as soon as we go out and visit the tree. That's we have a tree in our front yard, and sometimes I just take a baby who is very upset and say, come on, we're going to go visit the tree, and we leave those heavy feelings outside.
Yeah.
Mine and theirs.
Yeah, that's very good though. That's really good.
Outside time, very important.
Yeah, walking. I walked every day. I think where it started to change for me, which I do miss a little bit, is I don't get my religious walk in every morning. At the same time, because, their sleep schedules change, and then we start, kindy, and, there's breakfast and all of the things. So, that it just changes it. It makes it hard to get that in. So, but I loved those morning walks. It was just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very helpful, isn't it?
Oh, so helpful.
Yeah. And you feel good. Like you're like, I've got my shit
so
together.
Much better.
Yeah.
So much better. Just get outside.
Yeah. Yeah. What's one thing you've stopped doing that made space for more of the life that you actually want?
I stopped drinking and socializing so much, but that was probably forced upon me with pregnancy a little bit too. That's probably been the major thing that I've stopped doing is going out drinking all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I was going out all the time, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. It sounds it, but
when
I
we
know
go out for dinner like every weekend, you'd be drinking, you catch up with friends. There's always drinking involved.
Yes.
We have such an alcoholic society.
We do. And that's what I mean. Like, a lot of my friends really struggled because I stopped drinking alcohol during IVF. And when we started that process, and stopped drinking caffeine as well. And, a lot of my friends really struggled to understand, kind of like when I was saying I'm not drinking. Oh, well, you can just have one. No. Like, I don't drink at all.
Yeah.
Like I've got one of my friends, and she mentioned that, I'm not drinking either. So, she's like, I'll just have one every now and then. And I'm like, no, that's not drinking. Not drinking is you do not consume any alcohol at all, and by choice. Oh, and it's almost like a bit, it is really hard for that kind of, our society to, because it's very much like go out and you have a drink, like, you know, and people get chatty with a few drinks, but I just enjoy going out and having a chat and, spending time with my friends, and then going home, driving my car, and not having to worry, no headaches. And sometimes even just getting to bed half an hour later gives me a headache in the morning. I don't need the alcohol on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing that I have given up is TV.
Oh, okay.
Who's got time right now?
Yeah, true. You'll get it back though.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
But there's no Netflix and chill for us right now.
Yeah, no, that's right.
No.
Yeah, no.
There was when they were really newborn.
Yes.
And it would take an hour to feed that one baby. So no.
Yeah, we went through a phase where we were watching what's it called? Oh, what's that show with that Charlie Sheen and 2.5 Men?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we rewatched the whole thing from season 1.
Yeah.
we must have started watching it while I was pregnant because there was nothing on. And so
okay.
my partner likes that show. So we started watching that. And then I think we ended up, so through that early newborn phase, that was kind of like, oh, should we watch 2.5 Men? Yeah, okay. Just like watch that. But then, you do definitely go through that stage where there's no more TV for a while. Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Okay. So this is the last one. So hype song. What is your ultimate hype song?
Oh.
I'm a bit of a music thing. We're a bit of a musical family, and I was like, there's something missing from these rapid fire questions, and I'm like, I want to know, what's your song?
Do you know what? It's probably from it's probably anything on Cardi B's Bodak Yellow album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Is there like one song in particular that's like gets you?
I mean, WAP, obviously.
I would not pick that from you. That is
hilarious.
That's so good.
It goes really well loud in the car,
Yeah.
although I don't get to put loud music on in my car at the moment
No,
either.
again, this will come back. Well, you know, sometimes when you're on your own.
Yeah.
On your way home today, you can.
Excellent. Love that.
I'll let you.
Thanks. Permission.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it, making the time to get here and having a good chat and being so open and honest with us and sharing everything.
Thank you for having me.
No worries.
I've enjoyed it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Cut the Crap. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to like, follow and subscribe so that other people like you can find us. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Cut the Crap. If something in today's episode resonated with you, made you feel seen, or sparked a new thought, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review and share it with a friend. Remember, real life is messy, business is personal, and growth isn't always glamorous, but it's always worth it. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and join me each week as we keep cutting the crap. I'll see you in the next episode.